and thank you for calling the Auto Glass Helpline. Today we are replacing a windshield on a 2021 Ram 1500, and for those of you who enjoy the shorter content, this is going to be a longer video because we are going to do a full replacement on this guy. I have spared you the cleaning of the windshield and the fixing of this molding that was put on by Vitro very badly, so we had to fix that because it was all kinds of not where it was supposed to be. Anyways, let us move on with this replacement. First and foremost, taking our WRD Pro 6 handling cups, and we are placing those on our glass here as per normal for me. First one at the bottom, second one comfortable distance away, and then taking our Pro 6, we're going to put this hook at the top of the glass there, and then we are going to align the screw with the top of the pillar, the top of this bar right about here, and anchor that in place. Lock that cup down. Come over to your new glass and same game. Top of the glass, thumb at the base of the bar, rotate 90 degrees. You want this bar to be as perpendicular to the edge of the glass as you can, and lock that one down. And again, because I shoot the glass, I remove this bar so I don't get hung up on it. Give our glass a flip here, and you can see a little piece of the laminate there. Come on. Peel that out of there. And you can probably see here where you can see I've already scuffed this all the way around. When I peeled this loose, there were all kinds of fingerprints and mold release underneath it, so it actually pulled off pretty easy. So went ahead and scuffed all the way around, then flipped it and reset the molding. So always check your retainers as well, because these have a tendency to come in with these two spots peeled up. So make sure those are all nice and straight as well. To come over here and grab our 15 and our ratchet, because that is what it takes to remove these wipers. Throw on some gloves. Go ahead and lift that guy up. Going to take our ever-present screwdriver and pop these wiper caps off here. We'll grab that one in a minute when we get up there. And don't really know what it is about Dodge and Ram, but their wiper nuts like to stay on there tight all the way through the removal process. Set that there. And give this a little bit of a tweak to get it off of here. This one might require a puller. Oh. Haven't broke out one of these in a minute. Grab your wiper puller here, whichever version you might have. You definitely do not want to put too much force on these Ram wiper transmissions because they do like to break. And I will show you when we get this pulled off of here exactly where they like to break. So, to pop that one off. sometimes use power tools for these. The center one, you're going to want to use your wiper puller for sure, unless you've got one of the longer ones where you can put your hand here to give it pressure and then lift on that. So that one's not going to let go, so we're going to use the puller to avoid breaking this wiper transmission. Get this guy to pop loose. That one was a little bit tighter. And set him right there. Set that aside. Grab our TRT here, since we're up here, and we'll grab these ones out of the middle. This TRT tool, trim removal tool by WRD, is nice because the blades on this thing at the ends are super thin, so they slide underneath these really easy. You don't have to fight with them all that much. So you can see that slips right underneath there. Right down off of here. Pull the remainder of these guys. And then these corner pieces here come off. I'm going to look underneath here, find your little metal doodad. And this one looks like it's broken. And it is. So, don't know exactly how that happened. Pop these two out. And we did not break that. Somebody else broke that one. So set this guy aside here. Over to this side. This one is still intact, so we're good there. And we'll go underneath here. Again, the other nice thing about this trim removal tool is it's flat surface instead of having a rounded surface. If you need to push up against the paint job a little bit, you're not going to ding that clear coat. So, grab that, and pull these last two over here. Like so. And then this one has the retainer, so we are just going to lift this guy out. And it should pop out all the way across. Super simple. The rams slip out of that retainer really easy. You don't get hung up very much. So, drop that. Can lose the gloves. And we'll take apart our little rain shroud up there. We don't have a camera on this one, so this one is quite literally just electronics. Seat covers in place. So our dash cover up here. And then I'm going to pop this guy loose. I'm going to go right in here with our ever-present screwdriver. Give that a little twist. And then same thing on this side. And let that go. Now this guy has a very large lip on it. Right here, so don't try to pull that off. Just go for taking the whole thing off of there. And then this, you're going to spread these out a little bit to each side, and then that'll release. You're just trying to pop that little cleat there, or this one here, loose. Set that one down. Go ahead and pull this rear view mirror. sometimes these things are a little too long and a bit of a pain to get out. So what we're going to do is going to take our utility blade and we're going to pop the back side of this little Christmas tree off of here to make it easier. To pop out of there. And then you still have enough stem here to get back in there and not worry about it falling out. So, you know, unplug him, set the mirror aside. Then we're going to take our ever-present screwdriver again, slide it right in there, and all you're doing is you are pushing up and then tipping this out to release that. So you're going to push in that way and then tip it back on itself to release that tab. Same thing over here on this side, right there. Gonna push in and just twist it, and that pops loose. Give your rain sensor some nice even pressure as you pull on it. You don't want to yank on this thing too hard and break the rain sensor or pull it apart. And looks like we're gonna have to put a new pad on that, so we will go gel that up. Yeah, that one's not going to come off clean. So car wash stickers usually come off pretty easy. These fast track stickers, I am yet to figure out a way to get off without peeling all of the electronics and adhesive out of them. So if you have one of those fast tracks, just peel it, give it back to the customer. That way they can get a new fast track sticker with their number that's listed on that. So our little equalizer leveler here we're going to use for our rain sensor. Make sure we're level. Right there, set him on there, and we are using QC4 to put a new rain sensor pad on here. I do have some of the regular rain sensor pads, but a lot of them I don't like the way they fit, for the simple fact that you wind up with air bubbles. These you have a lot more control over because you can control the thickness of your rain sensor pad with the gel that you use. And these set in about 10 minutes, this QC4. So if we get this set now, by the time we get the windshield back in, we don't have to worry about it being liquid still. We're going to take a look at that. We got a nice little bubble there, nice and level. We'll throw that away, and we will let that sit while we cut out the windshield on this guy. Our threader, our orange bat, and our dash protectors. Grab our gloves again. And set these all aside here. I'm going to throw our gloves on real quick. Peel this guy off. Our oil sticker is pretty normal. And our fast track, we're just going to peel that guy away, and then it's got their barcode number on there that they can use to call fast track to get a new sticker. And then these, you can usually take a razor blade and get them off. Sometimes that electronics inside, this one's starting to crack all across here, so we're not going to bother trying to take that one off. It's just going to fall apart. So in that case, at least with the company we have here, they put a sticker in the door jamb as well. So I'll let them know that all they got to do is head over to the nearest one, let them know they had their windshield changed, and they'll swap them out. They'll give them a new sticker. So and go right over the top. Actually, no, we got a retainer, so we're going to go off to the side. And because this is a Dodge or a Ram, same thing, we don't have to worry about tearing the VIN plate off because this one's a sticker. Lift this out, and these also sit on the pinch weld, so we don't have to worry about cutting into the lower pinch weld. Thus, we don't have to worry about running it between the glass and the retainer in order to prevent that. Still want to make sure you are below your glass, not in between the layers. Anywhere you are here, jump up here and make sure you can see right there we're right between the layers of glass, and that is where we don't want to be. So we'll just take our ever-present screwdriver and make sure we are below that. Back over to the driver's side, and same thing here. Make sure we are below our glass. Down here on the bottom as well. Draw out your slack. And now we can start cutting. Pulled that pin right out of there. Outside our optimal cutting angle there. Switch sides. And about halfway between your mirror bracket and your pillar, sometimes a little bit closer to the pillar. And we're going to finish the top cut first so we don't cut into our headliner. So our dash covers a shift, our dash protectors. Pulled that one out as well. There you are. All right, pop that loose. Grab our dash protectors, pump, and everything. We're loose and ready to lift out. Put all of our tools back here real quick. Like that. Those are over there. And we'll lift out a windshield. There. Grab our trimming tools, our glass cleaner, and our rag. That fresh blade there. Pull our molding out. Give this a quick brushing. Get rid of any loose material here. This can did not last long. Give this a wipe. And we are cleaning our pinch weld before we trim because we don't want to add a contaminant to our freshly trimmed urethane. So get rid of all this dirt and dust as best we can before we do our trimming. Sometimes you'll get a little dirt stuck around the edges of this here. Clean that up. And this one, using our Stingray blades here because they don't dig into the paint job on the cove. This is always frustrating when you get that super thin layer of urethane left. Makes it hard to trim. And we got it all right. That trimmed out. Switch to our razor. Switch sides. Now, for those of you out there that want to get faster, those of you that work for a company that makes you work faster, don't rush yourself. Develop yourself a routine. Make it a pattern. If you watch the vast majority of my videos, you will see that I start almost everything that I do from the driver's side. That way I don't really have to think about where I go next. Very few things, and sometimes it's vehicle specific, but very few things I start from the passenger side. And that allows me to focus on the rest of the job. You get scattered and you keep starting from one side and then from the next and then switching back and forth. It slows you down. Make a conscious effort to start on the same side every time, almost everything. One of the things you'll see me do that I never start from the driver's side is when I have to shoot the body. If you go back through my videos and you watch, every single time I shoot the body, I stand on the passenger side. And that is just a preference for me. I've already mentioned a number of times that I absolutely hate shooting the body. Part of that stemmed from the fact that I'm right-handed, so I'm right-hand strong. And if you're trying to shoot right-handed from the driver's side, you're crossing yourself up, and it's an uncomfortable way to stand. At least for me it is. So that is the one thing that I start from the passenger side, is my bead when I shoot, when I have to shoot the body on a vehicle. But again, build yourself a routine, make it a pattern, and it will all speed up on its own. If you develop a routine, it'll make you faster. Don't try to be faster. I know, it doesn't make any sense, but it does. The harder you try to be faster, the more mistakes you make. The more warranties you have, the more casualty losses you wind up with, and nobody wants that. Least of all, Big Red. Right, done trimming and cleaning. To get rid of that, grab our primer stick here. Take a look at our glue line. Make sure you saturate the sponge on this before you start dragging it across your glass. And fill that corner in a little bit there. Fill that corner in a little bit there. Check for any areas that you need to prime, any scratches, any spots where your glue just lifted like that, any spots where you cut the seam sealer a little bit. That's one really nice thing about those Stingray blades. If you sharpen them right, very, very little damage to the vehicle. Spot right there, one right there, like there. Those are all good. And while we're waiting for this to cure, we're going to fill out our DOT information here. And this is, again, you do your routine. You can find little ways to make yourself faster. Every little bit makes you that much faster. Right. That is done. That is done. Alright, so you're starting to get a little drizzle here, so we are going to shoot this and set it before anything bigger rolls in here. Close our gap, drag it out. Add our tape. We weren't supposed to have any more rain today. But since when are the weathermen ever right? Drop our bar in, make sure all of our cups are tight before we hang a piece of glass on here. We don't need that anymore, so we'll go ahead and remove it. Hang that back up and set a piece of glass. And hang our hook there. And up and over. Make sure you don't hit that bump in the hood. Just being taller, I can't see it, so what I'm doing is I'm using my fingers to feel the gap in the molding there. The gap and the molding, not the gap in the molding. And we know we're not going to be that tight on this edge, so we're going to push it over a little bit. over here, pop that cup off, hang it on the apron, and then same thing here. Feel out where the roof and molding are at. Tape in place there and pop that cup loose. Now we can get it centered and decked. Looks like we are good on our height. This side I'll deck down. We'll pull up on that other side a little bit. Typical vitro, tight in the middle, open on the ends. Make sure we're all decked down. Check our reveals on the side. That's your gap between your glass and your pillar. Make sure we're good. A little tight on the bottom, a little loose, or a little tight on the top, a little loose on the bottom. And judging from the way the top is fitting, and that this side is fitting like it's supposed to, this glass is a little out of shape. So take a look at our top over here again and see if we can pull this up any, and a little bit, but it's not going to make much of a difference in our gap down here on the bottom. So this is just a relatively poorly manufactured piece of glass, so it happens. Not every one of them is going to be perfect. Let's get this guy put back together. Start on the inside. Oh, we need our rain sensor. Run back over here and grab that. And then you see it's all set. It's not going to sag, not going to spill. And shouldn't have any air bubbles either. Snap that in. Go ahead and give this a plug in here. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And other side, it's plugged in there, like so. Got a twist in place. Grab our lower bit here and try to get everything aligned. Like so. This one should just push straight up and lock on like that. And then our top piece also just snaps in like so. And we missed on that side over there, so we need to pop this loose and fix that side. Alright, come on. There, right there. That's that. And again, trying to align these guys here. That side's not locking in. There we go. Like that. And we're good. Go ahead and put our oil sticker back on. They're done inside, so we can pull these. And I will roll those up later. Pop our hood here, put our gloves back on, get this all put back together as well. These cowlings go on nice and easy. I like the Jeep and the Ram cowlings. They always snap on nicely without much in the way of argument. Don't need those for this job. Going to put one in this corner. That's good. Go over to this side. Make sure we're all pressed in. Drop that one in. Going to grab that because we don't want to leave that behind under the customer's hood. Grab some of our ones from the middle here. Our wiper nut, and then our wiper nut cover. And we're going to jump up here and put that center wiper back on. This windshield does not have our alignment marks, so I have to best guess it. Make sure that's tight. These middle ones in place. Hit our cover on there. Our second wiper. That. Snap this corner on here. Make sure we're under our fender there. Make sure we're in the spot. There you are. I'm missing the other wiper cover, or the wiper nut cover. Stuck it in the wrong pocket. Watch our wiper while we tighten this down, make sure it doesn't shift. Put that cover on there. And over here, drop our last couple of these in place. Grab our corner piece here. Make sure we are under the fender. Line everything up. Give it a snap. Drop that. We can peel our tape because this one's got the cowling holding it in place. And that is replacing the windshield on the 2021 Ram 1500. Clean your windows, take off your suction cup marks, and then call it good. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.